Welcome back to our Wisco Radio halftime show, joined by boys basketball coach Todd Nesheim. Todd, appreciate the time. We are getting closer and closer to basketball season, and has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think the weather's turning. It's a good sign that it's time for us to gear up, I guess. So appreciate you having me.
Well, we've got some business to take care of before basketball starts, and hopefully this football team keeps this thing going. But first, you're a coach. You accept your athletes playing multiple sports. It's a good thing for everyone involved. And just talk about just kind of managing that as you've got some football guys who are deep into the playoffs here, and hopefully this continues. And then basketball practice starting here
Yep.
in a couple weeks.
Yeah, fortunately, we've been through it before a handful of times with some successful football seasons and kind of backing itself right into to basketball time. So we'll massage that however we need to massage it in terms of giving some kids time off and maybe working some breaks even into the season for them to kind of take a personal day, something like that here or there. So, and I've come to not schedule early games. We can always play that first Tuesday after we start, after a full week of practice, and we haven't done that lately, simply because of football and the success they've had. But this year I did schedule one, so we might end up moving a game or something like that. But that's okay. Yeah, we want our kids playing multiple sports, and that's good, and that'll be good for us down the road as well.
Well, let's a quick recap from last year, Todd. Record-wise, 16-10, a pretty good record with a fairly young squad. You were 7-7 in conference play, and just talk about we lost some key contributors to last year's team, but the youth that you worked with last year really has to pay dividends here this year.
That's what we're hoping. Certainly, that's the plan, and I think that's everybody's anticipating that to work that way, and it should. We lost, I think, 3 seniors last year, 2 starters in Rocco Ritchie and Zach Peters. So those are some shoes we'll have to fill. I think Rocco ended up being our best player, certainly, and is playing some college basketball now at the D3 level. But Zach's position, the point guard spot, will be the one ultimately that might be the toughest for us to try to fill. So that will be one of the things we're looking for early in the season, and certainly we look for that over the summer and what direction we might have to go there. So fill in those 2 spots, but we should have some depth, and we're going to have guys that should be able to do that, and we're excited about kind of finding out if that's really the case.
Well, we're just about November here, and you've had a pretty full off season. I don't know how many people actually know what goes into making a successful season, but what are some of the highlights, some things that you learned from your team over the summer and here early fall?
Yeah, well, I can tell you most people have no idea what goes into an off season. It's a lot, and as a coach, any coach, your off season, that's something you're not getting paid for, and people don't see that side of it. But if you want to have a successful program, you got to put the time in, and we've done that. Our kids historically have done that as well, and we play probably 4 to 5 tournaments in that summer on a weekend, usually in June. So June summer weekends are pretty full with tournaments. We play a couple different leagues in Wanakee on Sunday nights, some Prairie on Monday nights. Our JVs are over there as well, and then our freshmen are over there on Tuesday nights. So usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are full of opportunities for kids to play. And then we have open gym Monday through Thursday in the mornings and team lift. And if they're not lifting for football, they're lifting for basketball. So days are pretty full in June and July, especially with summer off-season stuff. And then in the spring, of course, after our season has ended, and now in the fall, we've been running open gyms in the mornings, and kids that aren't playing and want to be good at basketball have been showing up. So it's full, but that's what you need to do.
Well, and you hope all that work comes to fruition, and you're holding a gold ball at the end of the year. And I think coming into this year, Todd, of course, I'm close to the program, helping you. Um, but there's high expectations, I think, all around, maybe even for folks who are looking from the outside, knowing that there's some really good talent. There's some experience coming in, but what are the thoughts coming into this year, and um, what are the expectations
Sure.
internally for this team?
Yeah, I mean, expectations are never going to be higher than what we set for ourselves. And I think we're to a point where our kids are setting those expectations as well. They know. Certainly, a conference championship will be one of them. This year, we're moving to a Badger large and Badger small division. So that might even the playing field a little bit in terms of the teams that we're going to see. No longer do we play Wanakee or DeForest and have to beat those guys twice a year, although we've had our share of success against those teams. Stoughton will be the team to probably beat in our league by prediction from most people outside our program. I think they returned 6 or 7. They pretty much returned their whole team and had a very successful year last year as well. And we split with them last year, and looking forward to that, to the 2 rematches, and probably in our mind, hopefully a third in the tournament. We'll get to see them. So possibly seeing Stoughton 3 times this year. And then, everybody else will be knocking on the door and good enough to beat you if you're not ready. But looking forward to the change of conferences. We're getting away from the quads that we had been doing the last 2 years. That wasn't really working for anybody, and back to a more traditional conference here. So we are excited about that opportunity.
Well, you've got your conference schedule, obviously, but then you've put together also a tough schedule outside of that. Talk about some highlights of your non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's a good year for this team, right? And then everybody's going to look at the record, but and that we'll see how that plays out. We don't know, but we're going to play on Alaska, who I believe was picked 4th in the state. We knocked them off down here last year. We play a Platteville team this year that, even though they're a level lower than we are in terms of the division, I think they're picked one. They are picked one in their conference and return a wealth of experience and had a very successful run last year. We're down at the WBY Holiday Classic in University of Concordia over winter break, and we'll play St. Cat's, who's traditionally, if you follow basketball, you know about St. Cat's, and I know they have some good young talent there as well. They did graduate pretty heavy, but expect to be really good. And we also play Franklin down there, who's picked to win their conference as well. And then in January, we'll see the likes of Lodi, who's going to be very good, much better, I think, than they were last year. I'm missing somebody. Oh, Turner, new on our schedule this year. They're picked to win their conference as well. So we did not shy away from competition this year. We never do. And that's part of what I think has made this program a little bit successful. So playing those types of teams.
Well, I know we're excited, and the community always gets excited here for Vikings basketball. As we ride this high wave here with football, it's going to be a fun transition. Hopefully, they're celebrating some great success, and we're going to roll that right into basketball. Starts November 13th. First practice 6 a.m. Correct, Todd?
That is correct. Ready to go, fellas.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it, and I know you're a fixture in this community as well, and appreciate all you do. And looking forward to basketball season. And thanks for the time.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Go Vikings.
I want to thank Todd Nesheim, Boys basketball coach, for joining us on our Wisco Radio halftime show. We've got more coming up, plus the Vikings and Thunderbirds here in the second half on Wisco Radio.